Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. We're again in the final hour of the trading day. Final hour of the trading day is my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions based upon the closing prices, which are driven at the end of the day by the large financial institutions. In my opinion, following what the large financial institutions do at the end of the day is a long-term edge in your trading. So thank you all for coming today. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you are having a nice day. Appreciate the time you spend here. I hope it's helping you learn some good trading and investing principles. Kind of an ugly day today in the market. The indexes are all red. The Dow is currently down 362 points. So a big down day, down over 1%. NASDAQ down 179 points, down 1.3%. So a couple bad days in the NASDAQ, and the S&P is down 40 points. Down just about 1% as well. So we've had a couple days of selling here. We are coming back into the value zone on some stocks, which is good. I like to buy in the value zone. So it will be interesting to see how the market closes today. So here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the US legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. Did have some day trades today that I will share with you as well. After that, some of my students have put their positions up on the board. We'll go through each one of those and we'll see how those are doing. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about trader psychology. Very important, most important part of trading. The most important skill that you can learn in trading is the skill of mental discipline and following your plan. Learning how to trade is important. Yes, it is. Resistance, support, entries, exits, position sizing, that's all required in order for you to become a good long-term profitable trader. But in the bigger picture, you can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't follow it because your emotions get elevated either to the downside or the upside because of the dollar moves, then you can have the best plan in the world and it's not going to matter. So the key is to put yourself in that mental state where you are just right in the middle, not too excited, not too depressed. Position sizes are meaningful, but losses are not going to be devastating. And it all comes down to just kind of keeping in the middle zone of being alert, being optimistic, not being too scared, just being in a good frame of mind. And so that's why I like to talk a little bit about trader psychology. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I've gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. First, confluence, combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames, if possible, ideally that is. Secondly, good risk to reward ratio, very important, at least a 2-to-1 reward to risk. So if you're risking $100, you need to be able to make at least 200 or more to the upside based upon strong and solid support below you and strong and valid and likely resistance above you. And then number 3, just make sure before you put on a trade that you have a full trade plan. Your position sizing for the volatility of the market. You know where your end of day stop is. You know where your emergency stop is. You know where your profit targets are. You know where your overhead resistance levels are. You know how to trail a position so that you don't give back all of the profits. And so you just need a good trading plan. Make sure you know what you're going to do regardless what the market is going to do. So I do have some end of day candidates. We'll go through using those 3 requirements. I will take a look and see if I can find one that fits the bill. And if it does, I will buy it shortly before the market closes. After the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. If you need any clarification on anything, please just ask me. If you have any stock symbols that you'd like me to look at, I'm happy to do that as well. Just put them in the live stream chat, and I will do my very, very best to get to them before the close of the market. And then lastly, if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me that they'd like me to update on the board, if you could please wait till the end of the day so that the market's closed, I'm done trading, pressure's off, and I'll do my I'll take as much time as we need at the end to make sure we get everyone squared away on that. All right, so I'm going to run the US legal disclaimer. I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who is here today. Lova74 is here. Nice to see you, Lova. Hope you are having a good day. Always nice to see you. Tracy Peterson is here. What a day. At least I get to be here with all of you. Yeah, this is some day, Tracy. No doubt about it. This is a tough day in the market. But remember, these days happen, and these are the kind of days that prove to us that we need to have stops. We need to position size for the current market volatility. So, you know, last summer, Tracy and I spoke, and the market was just going up, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, all the way up, just easy. And I said, this is not a real market. Now it's a real market, Tracy. Kamal is here. Hey, bud. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for everything that you do for the channel. Thank you for your friendship, and hope you're having a good day. And by the way, Kamal went to cash yesterday, so that was a very good move. Kamal, congratulations on an excellent decision. Dan says, hi, Greg and Gossett Group. Hey, Dan, good to see you, bud. Hope you are doing well in Florida. Lova says, MCFE has a V1, but is at the top of the value zone and a big drop 2 days ago on high volume. As bad as that is, it's the best of the other 50 I've looked at today. Okay, well, let's take a look. MCFE. Yeah, it's a V1, but there's only 1 day of sideways motion. We did have a false breakout to the downside over here. It's okay, but you're right. We're right at the 1 ATR channel. That's right about where I'm going to call it quits on taking an entry. You know, the big down bar here, Lova, right here, this would be a retracement 50% back to the Fibonacci line. Maybe it gets there, I don't know, but my experience, if it does get back up here, that would be about it. So your reward is about from here to here, theoretically, and your risk is here to here. So I would not take that trade personally. Frank is here. Good to see you, Frank. Thank you for everything you do. Love your poems every day. Hope you're having a good day as well. So, all right. Well, let's guess we should get to it then, huh? All right. This is going to be ugly. All right. Gary and I are in silver. We bought silver on a return to value, sideways motion, V2, false breakout to the downside, rejection of the -1 ATR channel. We bought it at 43.96. Last week we hit one profit target. This week it is down a little bit on the week, but it is up on the trade. So this one's doing fine. Berkshire Hathaway. All right, so this has been a really great trade. I mean, all these trades have to end at some point. This is an excellent trade that I have with a return to value on the daily, return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside, V1. I bought here at 250.86, moved up 1.5 ATRs from my entry. Then I had a close below the previous day's low. That got me out of half. Did keep the other half, sold another half of the half here with the rejection of the 70 RSI. Continued to go up, continued to hit profit targets. Today, I will definitely be exiting Berkshire because not only are we closing below the previous day's low, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day, but I would imagine that would be the case. Looks like we're also losing the 5 EMA today. So Berkshire has been an excellent trade. I mean, from entry to current price, about 6.2%. So I will be exiting Berkshire, but thank you, Berkshire. This is a beautiful example of a return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside, V1. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about sideways motion. And you can see this base that was built, this foundation that was built, just another word for a base, was able to sustain a large rally. So I will be be getting out of BRKB. Boy, this is a long trade. This is like over a month trade. That's a long swing trade. So thank you, BRKB. That's been good. Budweiser, I do have a good trade going on Budweiser with Johan, Frank, Gary, David, and myself. Bought it at the end of last month at 62.91. It's 67.16. Did hit one profit target at 67.55. But so far this trade is up 6.86%, which is pretty good. Berkshire Hathaway. Steve, David, Lilia, and myself did buy Beyond Meat back on the 15th with the 520 crossover at 137.28. Moved up. I took a profit target. Yesterday, I sold half of my position. It looks like it did close above the 5 and the 20. When I sold it, it was below the 5 and the 20, so it might have squeaked up there. But nonetheless, I'm glad I did sell half of my position. And it looks like David and Lilia sold half yesterday too, which should make us feel better because it's down 2.58%. And, if we would have kept the entire position, we'd be down more today. But we did get out with half. 5 is crossing under the 20. I will be exiting Beyond Meat today as well. CNK, well, this one, Tracy and myself, great setup. False breakout to the downside. V1, I bought it at $22. It's down 6.89% today. Pink line down here is my emergency stop. If it had got down to my emergency stop anytime during the day today, I would have had to have gone and just sold the position because, I have in my mind, from a math perspective, what is my maximum allowed stop? Regardless of what happens, no matter what I think is going to happen, if it ever gets there, that enough is enough, and that's going to be my line in the sand. And you can see it got close, rallied up. My stop is a close below halfway of the washout bar back here on the 16th. Certainly going to close below that today, so I will be exiting Cinemark for a pretty nasty loss today, 6.94%. CVS bucking the trend, thankfully. False breakout to the downside. V2, I bought at 75.03. It has been moving up. Took some profit targets on the way up. Has not reached my trailing stop level. Is up 0.26% today, which I'm grateful to have anything that's green today. Expedia, it was not very expeditious. This was horrible. It was a good setup. False breakouts to the downside. V2, 520 crossover. I mean, talk about a confluence. Emergency stop down here at 162.90. Didn't really get close to that. But my stop is a close below halfway of the washout bar of 170.90. Very likely I will be exiting this today and taking the loss and locking in the loss on this. GPN. All right. I think I'm the only one in GPN. Yeah, GPN I bought here with a false breakout to the downside. V2, 520 crossover. I bought at 207.72. Has moved up nicely. Got to my trailing stop level. Yesterday had a close below the previous day's low after reaching the 1.5 ATR trailing stop level. I took profits. Half profits yesterday, which I'm glad. And today it looks like it's going to close below the 5 EMA. So I will be getting out of GPN as well. Goldman Sachs, Steve, David, Greg, that's me. And I think that's it. We bought Goldman Sachs with a 520 crossover at 335.28. Initially moved up, hit some profit targets. I took it with the 520 crossover. Looks like it is going to close below the 5 and the 20. Therefore, my protocol calls for selling half. Not all, but half, because the price closed below the 5 and the 20, but the 5 is still above the 20. Light. All right. Nice. Lily and I took light, with a return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside, V1 on the weekly, took it at 91.74. It's 92.20, so it's down on the day, right? Yeah, it's down on the day a little bit, but it's still up on the trade, so this one will be a keeper. Merck, interestingly enough, had a big day today, up 1.3%. I bought this with Jonathan with a higher low V2 on the weekly at 77.42 at 78.63. So this one is up on the day and up on the trade. SPY, overnight SPY trade. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. This was a losing trade. I bought at 415.21 and I sold this morning at 413.94. 3. So over $1 loss on this one. But this is just a trade I take every day. I will be buying this again at the close, holding it overnight, and hoping for a gap up tomorrow, but we shall see. Gold. I did buy gold. Ooh, I'm going to show you intraday trade on gold first so I can clean up this chart. So I did buy gold here on a day trade. We had this sideways motion. We had a gap down, reversal back up, under 50, over 50, bullish engulfing bar, V1 on the 25-minute bar. I bought at the end of the bar at 166.11. Kept going up for another 25 minutes. I sold half at 166.53. Consolidated for 3 bars. We had another big up bar. I sold half of a half at 166.44. And I'm still in the trade, actually. So I will just be holding this trade most likely till the end of the day. Hopefully we'll have a little rally, but I only have a quarter left. Qs. I also had a trade on the Qs. On the 25-minute bar, we had a deep dip buy of a close under 250, back over 250, plus a V1. I bought it at 335.58. When the next 25-minute bar was closed, I sold half at 336.40, so nice little gain there. My stop was a close below the 200. It held. It went back up. I was feeling good, came back down, and now it closed below the 200. So I did make money on this trade from 335.58 up to 336.40, but I did lose from 335.58 back to 335.35. So all in all, that one was a positive trade. Grateful for that. Oh, and then I forgot gold. All right. All right. I did buy gold on a swing trade, 520 crossover, bought it at 162.75, hit some profit targets here, came back down. Next day, closed below the 5 and the 20, sold half of what I have. That's what my system tells me to do. Profit target, held, nice profit targets, and hit one profit target today as well, up here at 166.66. So I am just waiting at this point for either rejection of the 70 RSI or a close below the 5 EMA. And then Vixx, I had a nice little trade on Vixx yesterday. I bought Vixx when we had a V2. Here's bar 1, 2, and 3. Bar 2 washes out bar 1. Bar 3, I bought it when it triggered at 998. MACD was positive. I like that as well. And did hit 2 profit targets today, one at 1041 and one at 1065. So this has been a good little Vixx trade, and this one is up 5.32% so far. I think that's it. All right, Mamal is here. Nice to see you, Mamal. Gary, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Steve Burns, thank you for coming, Steve. Always an honor and privilege to have you. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel, Steve. I appreciate it. I know everyone else is. Hope you, Holly, and the dogs are all doing well. Paxton says, what up? Good to see you, Packy. Looking forward to our lesson tomorrow with you and Tracy. And Frank has a poem for us. Always like Frank's poems. So let me paste this on in here like so. And let's see what Frank has for us today. They call it the street, a place hustling with heat, a road not paved with gold, but made with concrete. So if you dare to compete, it's not easy to beat. Don't be the sheep the wolves long to eat. Holy smokes. How good is that? That should have been in Wolf of Wall Street, that poem. I mean, every single sentence in this poem is 100% perfect. They call it the street, a place hustling with heat, a road not paved with gold, but made with concrete. So if you dare to compete, it's not easy to beat. Don't be the sheep the wolves long to eat. Yeah, I mean, that's so true. Trading is tough. You need to have every single little edge that you can. Good system, good risk to reward ratios, most importantly, your mental mind frame. You know, when I studied with Dr. Alexander Elder, he said, look, it's tough to beat the market with just one tool. You have to look for confluences and combinations of indicators. You know, some people just buy when MACD crosses over. You know, he would say, not enough, it's good, not enough, you need things in confluence. V1, V2, MACD crossover, bullish divergence, maybe a rejection of a major moving average. But in order to extract money out of this market, you have to be good and you have to use every edge that you have. Steve says, that was one of your best ever, Frank. Epic. I know. It's unreal. I mean, it is just so good. It's unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me take a little looky over here. So I am going to be getting rid of lots of positions today. Lots of positions today for sure. And speaking of that, give me 1 second. Let me take care of a little business over here, and then we will get on to your trades, and we'll see how those are doing. All right, so let's see. And over here like that. Okay. Sorry, I manage a couple of different accounts, and so sometimes in the middle of the podcast, I have to take a little break to take care of some biz. Hope you understand. All right. Lilia is here. Hi, Lilia. Nice to see you. Hope you are having a good day. Steve says, INDA ETF was uglier than most charts today. Yeah, I was talking about INDA the other day with a student, Steve, and I look at this chart and I kind of cringe because the double top and bullish divergence that was happening here, here's your high with tall green MACD bars. You pull way back to red, then you made a newer high. The high of the MACD bars here was much lower. You had an RSI divergence, and there was just really no trigger. I didn't want to chase the short there. Well, looks like I should have chased it there, right? But I mean, look at this. Holy smokes. Let's take a look and see from an RSI perspective, though, what we've done today. So we have got to about 33.72 on the bounce off the lows there, but we did not reject the 70. Lilia says, yes, the poem is great, Frank. I agree. Steve says, I'm seeing a lot of red waterfalls on my watch list today. Yeah, just red all over with big bars. Christopher Uhl is here. Good to see you, my friend. Chris says, hey, Greg and all. Good to see you, Chris. Listen, Chris has a great podcast over on YouTube. It's called 10-Minute Stock Trader. So he interviews traders all over the world, all different types of traders. He's been kind enough to interview me a few times on there. So really glad to see you, Chris. And go over and support Chris on his channel. You'll really like his interview. Steve says, Nike chart. Wow. Oh, I was talking about Nike with Jonathan the other day, one of my students. I was looking for it to get to a certain location. Let's see. Well, that's the location I was looking for it to get, Steve. Look at this double bottom with this divergence, everyone. Look at the low with the deep red. We rally into green. See how we've come back down now? See how this is not as deep as this, about halfway of this? I like Nike, but it would have to close above the 200-day moving average in order for me to get interested in. But if it doesn't do it today, I could certainly see buying Nike. I just happened to be teaching a lesson about Nike just the other day. I fully did not expect it to get down there that quickly. Let me do a little math on here in case I need it at the end of the day. And let me put this back down over here. Good. All right, let's take a look at your trades, everybody. All right, here we have Gary. Gary bought MasterCard with a 520 crossover at 368.54. Had a beautiful ride up. Yesterday closed below the previous day's low. Gary sold half, which I'm sure he's really glad that he sold half yesterday. Still had half to go down today, but if there's any change there, Gary, so it is down on the day, but nicely up on the trade. Here we have Steve and Frank. Steve and Frank bought Etsy with the 1050 SMA crossover at 213.35. It is 204.94, so it is down today, and it is also down on the trade. Haas. All right, Lilia bought Haas back here. False breakout to the downside. Bullish engulfing bar, V1 97.09. Moved up nicely. Stalled out, and has come all the way back down. So it is down on the day and is down on the trade, unless Lilia was scaling out, which I believe she was, which would probably make this trade still positive. NVAX. Frank bought NVAX, the trade of the year, back here at 135. It moved up more than 100%. He sold 90% of his shares into this strength. Good thing he did. He kept a 10% trailer. It's moved down. Come off, significantly from the highs, but he only has 10% of the trade left, which is good. All right, here we go. David bought Unity Software, higher low V1 at 97.90, moved up nicely. I think David probably took some profits. I believe he sold half here. I think, I forgot. I'm not sure now, but now it is down. So it is down on the day, and it is also down on the trade. So yeah, this has been a tough couple days for sure. Spotify. David bought Spotify with the 1030 EMA cross at 292.80. 269.56 is down 3.68% today, and it is also down on the trade. CMG is Chipotle. Frank bought Chipotle at 14.52, moved up nicely. He sold half into strength, so moved sideways. It is down a little bit today. Oh, and Frank sold one half. I think he sold another quarter. So I think he only has a quarter left, if I'm correct. But it is down on the day, but it is nicely up on the day. Stitch Fix. Gary and Tracy bought Stitch Fix. Back here, double bottom, bullish divergence, V1, close above the 200. Beautiful trade. It did close below the 200 yesterday. I don't know if Gary and Tracy are still in it, but down 6.17% today. So that's a tough one. ELY. Callaway Golf. Frank bought Callaway Golf at 27.75. Has moved up nicely, but like everything else today, came back down, tested his entry price, bounced off it. So that is a positive trade so far, even though it is down a little bit today. SIVB. Steve and Tracy bought SIVB at 511.26 with a 520 crossover. Moved up nicely, but got hammered today, down 2.94% today. So if there's any changes there for you, Steve or Tracy, please let me know. ILMN. Oh, we don't have this one. And lastly, KMX. KMX is Lilia, 520 crossover, bought at 132.17. Sold half here when we lost the 5 and the 20, which I'm glad she did. Because it's down significantly today, and it looks like the 520 is crossing under. So a lot of things to clean house with today, that's for sure. Frank says, thank you, Lilia. It's a splash of cider vinegar. Well, there you go. John Dakota. Like that name. Good to see you, John. Good channel. You guys had a good chat. Thank you for coming, John. If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. Hey, there's my friend Ava. Good to see you, Ava. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are having a nice day. I hope your trading is going well. Thanks for stopping by. Jonathan is here. Hey, good to see you, John. I had a schoolboy errand today. Mixed up the weekly and the daily ATR values on Merck, so got a few profit targets. Oh, I see. Yeah. So you took the chart you took the chart on the weekly with me, but when you were doing your profit targets, you went over to the daily and used those. So of course you are definitely going to get hit if you profit targets, but that's good, right? That's good. Steve says airline stocks hammered today. Yes, I noticed that. The airlines got hammered, and along with that, that's why my Expedia is getting hammered as well. Dance gives thumbs up. Good to see you. Yuvar is here. Nice to see you, Yuvar. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Okay. All right. Let me do a quick little run through again. All right, silver is fine. Nothing to do with silver. Berkshire Hathaway, definitely on the chopping block. I will be getting out of Berkshire. Budweiser on the monthly, I'm holding. Beyond Meat, I am chopping. CNK, I am chopping. CVS, I am keeping. EXPE, this one could hold. I don't know. I mean, this one's the closer one, but if it closed as is, I would chop it. GPN, I am getting out of GPN as well. Selling half of Goldman Sachs. Keeping LITE on the weekly. Merck did hit the profit target on the weekly ATRs, right? At 78.79. So thank goodness for Merck today. In a sea of red. SPY, overnight losing SPY trade, buying that again today at the close. And gold, keeping. It's going up, it's doing fine. And my VIX, keeping. Although, has this moved 1.5 ATRs for my entry? Yes, it has. So, I didn't notice that. I am now in trailing stop mode on the VIX. I have moved 1.5 ATRs from my entry. So therefore, if I get a close below the previous day's low, I will sell half. If it comes back to my entry point, I will sell it all. So my emergency stop, once it moved 1.5 ATRs from my entry, now my emergency stop is my entry point. If it comes back to my entry point, I will get out just so that I don't lose any money on the trade. Like made money on the trade, certainly, because I've been scaling out, hit 2 profit targets today. But tomorrow, if we close below the previous day's low, I'll sell half. But if we close below the previous day's low and get back to entry, so that's my new emergency stop now is my entry. I don't want to let one of these bounce plays turn into a loss, right? If it just gets back to entry, no questions asked, I go ahead and I get out. All right, so listen, before we start taking a look at end of day trades, before we can look for confluences, combinations of indicators, before we can look for good risk to reward ratios, before we can look for a complete trading plan, I like to check in, talk a little bit about trader psychology before we get on to that. I have my favorite YouTube channel, my favorite Twitter channels. I have my favorite Facebook channels. And there's some great traders and educators out there that post just great information. It's free. It's, good trading words of wisdom, if you will. And I really enjoy this channel, Money Trade Edge. Better thinking, better trading. Here's the guy from Billions. I forgot his name. Axelrod or something. But I love this channel, and he does a really good job. And let's read and see what he has to say today. The real luxuries of trading are discipline and consistency, not a perfect system. Most new traders believe that the key to profitability is just in a secret holy grail trading system. And it's not. Every trading system, I don't care if it's a deep dip buy, I don't care if it's a moving average crossover or a trend trade or a mean reversion trade or a breakout momentum trade, or buy the dip trade. They all work, but they don't work all the time. There is no perfect crystal ball for the market. But Each one of these approaches gives you an edge if you back test and you can confirm that you have an edge with your that particular trading strategy. But it's like he says here, the real luxury trading are discipline and consistency. You have to be disciplined and consistent. Disciplined and consistent. You're not always going to make money. Sometimes you're going to lose. But the thing you need for sure, without this, you have no chance. You have no chance in this market. That's why I always talk about, keeping your emotions in check, because it seems easy to follow your system with discipline and consistency when the market's closed. But when you're sitting in front of the screen and the things are blinking and you're making money or you're losing money, when your heart rate's going and you're using the animal instinct part of your brain, that is where it's easy to get off track. But remember, there's no perfect system. It does not exist. But what you need for sure, without a doubt, without exception, is just discipline in getting in when you're supposed to, discipline getting out when you're supposed to, and being consistent with it. So check out his channel, Money Trade Edge, or maybe it's a female. I have no idea. Better Thinking, Better Trading. And go and follow and read his post. I read him every day. So this was helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for everyone else. All right, well, we have plenty of time, so if anybody has any questions for me, let me know. We had so few positions up on the board that kind of gave us some extra time. So if there's any questions, anything I can help you with, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to answer. All right, well, let's go down, take a look at some potential end of days here. Why don't we look at the indexes while we're at it? Here's the Dow Jones. Gary, you were right. That would have been a good short. My guess is if we get a dip into the value zone, that will be bought. I'd rather have that be bought, rallied, have a lower high, then we can maybe have a long leg down. I don't think we're going to just have a long leg down. I could be wrong, but generally if you come from a higher high, you come into the value zone, some dip buyers do come in here. People that shorted here will cover here. That's two groups of buyers that will cause the market to generally have a bounce. But if that bounce goes up and makes a new high, well, then we start all over. But if it bounces, makes a lower high, then they're not going to be as many people buying that the next dip because the first dip failed. So, if you're really wanting to get into the Dow Jones, I would wait for minimal a return to value into the value zone. The NASDAQ, well, it always comes back into the value zone. I've never seen it not happen. We were well above the value zone. This is where I want to be selling. This is actually where I did sell the Qs, if you remember. But now we've rejected that third ATR channel like we so often do. And now we are coming back into the value zone. I'd like to see this come into the value zone, have some sideways motion, have a V1, V2, and I would buy that first dip as well. SPX, all right, we're not to the value zone yet. We are holding the 10-day EMA, but still, if I'm looking to re-enter a long position on the S&P, I would look for a return into the value zone. Anywhere between this green line and this green line, ideally, maybe at least halfway down. Look for sideways motion, look for a V1 or a V2. All right, Nike. Well, let's see how low we bounced on Nike. We got to about 33.82. We got extremely close to a double bottom and a bullish divergence. Jonathan, if you remember from our lesson, we were looking at this. I would consider taking a shot at Nike today if it closes above the 200, but only if it closes above the 200. I would have liked if we would have gone down and test the low of this range. I would like it better if we would have bounced off the negative third ATR channel. In my opinion, tomorrow the market could be very volatile. We could bounce easily, but we could also have another big down bar. We could definitely have another big down bar. So if Nike closes above the 200-day moving average, I would consider it. That's the best I can say about it right now. AMCX, AMC Networks. Don't really see anything here. Don't see anything that stands out to me. CTRE, well, here you go. Care Trust REIT. It's a return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside in the V2. It's a good setup. The only problem, for me, it's only traded 133,000 shares, so it's not enough for me to get interested in today. Box, just consolidating. There is a V2. Here's bar 1, 2, and 3. Bar 1, bar 2 washes out bar 1. Bar 3 closes above bar 1's close. We did not close in the value zone, so I would just wait for a move back up, wait for a pullback, maybe retest that -1 ATR channel, look for a higher low V1, and those are the ones that usually give you a nicer leg up. So I don't see anything on Box either. Jobs, do not see anything here. It was a V2 that untriggered. BIIB, it's pretty good. It's a higher low V2. It's a little chasey. Has a 520 crossover. MACD has crossed. That all looks pretty good. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly's in the value zone. Pretty good. But it looks a little chasey to me today, and it also has earnings coming up in a couple days. So I think I'll just stay away from Biogen. CRSP. It's a higher low V2. The V2, Jonathan, if you're there, happened on a huge gap. I don't take those. It did fill part of the gap intraday, but there's still more than a quarter ATR gap, so not interested in CRSP. Edit, we may have got an under 30 over 30 earlier today. Yeah, this is an under 30 over 30. I don't know if it's enough for me. It's just an under 30 over 30. There's not a double bottom. There's not a bullish divergence. Nothing like that going on. So I think I'm going to pass on Edit. Man, Edit just had a huge fall, didn't it? Wow. INSG. This is an under 30 over 30. This is a little more interesting. We have a double bottom. No red MACD, which is interesting. It is interesting. It's an $8 stock. I don't like that. It lost support of the 100-day moving average on the week. No, I don't think so. Clorox, Lilia. I know Lilia got out of Clorox and then it just went right back up. Sorry about that, Lilia. You know what happens sometimes though. We have a 520 crossover here. Don't know how that back tests. Let's take a look back at the weekly. Looks pretty good on the weekly. This could run possibly up to like $202. I think I'll just pass on that one. And then CHKP, just too far extended for me to get interested in that. So really the only one I'm looking at potentially right now is Nike. I'm going to be more focused today on just getting out of my positions because I have a bunch of positions to get out of. Gary says NIO. Well, it's up today. That's saying something. I think the proper place to buy this was here. False breakout to the downside, rejection of the 200-day moving average and the 200. I don't think I would be buying it here though, Gary. Lilia says, LOL, CLX is the story of my life. No. You've had some really good trades too, Lilia. I've seen them. I have seen them. So that's not going to happen to you very often. But it was unfortunate. Sorry. All right. So what do we have? We have about 15 minutes. I think I'm going to take advantage of the time, and I think I'm just going to start clearing some stuff out. If it rallies, but all right. So I did lock in BRKB. I'm out of BRKB. Beyond Meat. Definitely looks like I'm getting out of Beyond Meat here. The only question is whether or not I want to wait 14 minutes to get out of it. CNK. Glad it rallied off the lows. I mean, that does help for sure, but I definitely will be getting out of CNK today as well. CVS up a little bit. EXPE, I guess it could hold. I don't know if it's going to, but I'll probably wait on that one. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of half of Goldman Sachs right now. 520. It looks like it's going to close below both the 5 and the 20. So I'm definitely going to get out of. So I'm going to get out of half here right now. All right, gold's fine. Ooh, Vixx has come down a bit, so. All right. Oh, I've got to get out of my day trade on gold. Okay. All right. So I'll do that. Okay, so on that 25-minute chart, oh, I erased everything, but I bought here, sold half here, and I just sold half here as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead. 12 minutes to go. Don't think, as it looks like right now, I don't think I will be buying Nike. I think the better move on Nike is just look for a under 30, over 30 rejection of the low over here. It would give more confluences of signals. So I think I'm just gonna not buy Nike today. I don't think I'm gonna buy anything today except for my overnight SPY trade. All right, we're getting there. Anyone else have anything on their radar for today? Not a lot of setups today, for sure. All right, 10 minutes to go. I have to get rid of CNK. I have to get rid of EXPN. I have to get rid of GPN. I'll just go ahead and get a GPN right now. Okay. Walmart. All right. Let's take a look at Walmart. It's a V1, but it's way too high. It already rejected the previous high here, Johnson. So it is a false breakout to the upside, which is not a good sign, but it is up on a down day, which is positive. But excuse me, I don't see anything here that would interest me. Love wants to look at play. Ah, wow. That is interesting, isn't it? False breakout to the downside and a V1. But do you know what I'm going to say, Lova? We already rejected the 50 RSI today. Earlier in the day, we got up to 52.75, and now it's rejected it. Had I been in this trade, I would have sold half today because of the rejection of the 50 RSI. So therefore, if I would have already sold half, had I been in the trade, I'm not going to take a new trade. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's green on the day. I could see somebody buying this, but just the fact that it rejected the 50 RSI already, that's concerning to me. Well, I'm glad CNK has come off of its lows. We have about 8 minutes to go. Yep. This market's whooping people up today. Dow down 258 points. NASDAQ down 119, S&P down 26. So we have had a bit of a rally. Luckily, we've come off the lows, that's for sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sell Expedia right here. And CNK. All right, so I've got AGQ, I've got Budweiser, I've got CVS, oh, Goldman Sachs. Oh, I already sold half of Goldman Sachs. LITE on the weekly is fine. Merck is doing fine. Holding gold. Out of Qs. And my Vixx doing fine today. So I think I'm done. I think I'm done with everything. Wow, big different day compared to what we've been used to, right? Take a peek back at Nike, see if anything's happening with Nike. Oh, well, there you go. That makes it tough. Now it is back above the 200. But again, I think I'm going to see if we get any follow through today. I really like to see this go below this previous low, tag that negative third ATR channel, maybe reject the 30 RSI, then come back above the 200-day. That would make more sense. Let's look at the weekly. Nothing really on the week. Be interesting to see what the Qs do here in the last 5 minutes. All right, so I'm done. I'm just waiting for the end of the day so I can get my S&P overnight SPY trade, and that'll be that. Looks like the Qs are selling off here in the last few minutes. Probably the VIX is heading back up. Who knows? You know, sometimes when the market comes back down and you have positions, it seems a little deflating. But remember, if we do get a pullback into value, it might set you up for some really good swing trades in the future, right? So just remember that. You know, I mean, if we do have a move down, markets have to, they're living organisms. They have to go up and they have to go down. They have to sell off before they can go up. So, you know, just the fact that we're going down here isn't such a bad thing. I'm in a way kind of glad because, you know, I've been scaling out of positions on the way up using my trailing stop protocols. And now I would, you know, now coming back down into the value zone and looking for some good, decent risk to reward ratios again would be a good thing in the big picture. So Nike looks like it's closing above the 200. But again, I'm just going to wait and see if I can really get the trade that I wanted. A test of this low, test of the 30 RSI. Right, that is it, everybody. All right, let's see where I got filled today. Okay, so I got filled the SPY at 412.17 for the overnight SPY trade. Not a bad fill price. 412.17. All right. And that's it. That is it. Let me make some room over here so I can get everyone's setups taken care of. All right. So me personally, I got out of BRKB. I got out of Beyond Meat. I got out of CNK. I got out of EXPE. I got out of GPN. I'm still in the half GS. Yep. So these are my positions right here. So listen, if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me, please put them in the live stream chat and I will get them updated. Just real quick, just do want to mention 3 bits of business. First, I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I teach a really good course. It's a 15-hour course, one-on-one. 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. That's where you get the 15 hours. I teach you all 5 of the setups that I use in my trading and have used over the last 25 years. They're all really good. They're for different markets. They give you the versatility to be able, regardless of what the market is doing, you at least have one strategy that most likely you can use at any one moment. I teach you each strategy step by step, how to position size, how to set emergency stops, how to set your end of day stops, how to set your trailing your intraday profit targets, where your rejection and resistance levels are, how to implement trailing stops. I've had some really good success with my students. I have turned out some great students, I'll tell you that. And I think if you took the course, I know you will be a better trader. I know you will. So if you are interested, the cost is $1,750, but I think it's worth every penny because of the attention that you get and what you're taught. And so, if you're interested, just send me an email. You can send me an email. The email is in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do, I'll reply and say, great, thanks for saying hello. Let's have a Skype call. Skype call's free. I just want to learn more about you and your trading, your trading challenges, your goals, and that it's a good time for you to ask me any specific questions about the course that you have. And then after the call, you can think about it as long as you want. And if you decide, hey, I want to take that course with Greg, just email me back and we'll get it scheduled. Secondly, I do have an online course available on udemy.com. It's been a really good seller. It's the deep dip buy stock trading strategy. It's very affordable. It's like $12 to $15 on udemy.com. The course is a total of 9.5 hours of video. 26 videos total, 15 study guides, and I will teach you in that course step by step exactly how to trade the deep dip buy strategy. I use it all the time. So if you're interested in that course, the description's also in the link is also in the description. And then lastly, if you enjoyed today's podcast or if you've enjoyed any podcast in the past, if you could hit the thumbs up button before you take on out of here, I would really appreciate it. It really helps the channel, helps the channel keep going, and helps YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. So they'll get out and share it. So if you did like it today, I would really appreciate if you could do that before you head on with your day. All right, let's take a look. I'm sure we have some removal of positions today. Oh, Steve did buy Nike. Okay. All right, so let's put Nike over here. All right, Steve, makes sense. All right, Steve bought Nike at $126.90. That's a good price. $126.90. All right. Nice going there, Steve. Steve says, I'm long Nike after the loss and recovery of the 200-day SMA into the low 30s. Right. Steve says, I exited my previous positions after the bearish candlestick. Okay, so Steve is out of Goldman Sachs. Okay. Out of SIVB. Okay. Out of Etsy. Well, that rallied off the low at the very least. Okay, Steve, got you out of there. And out of Beyond Meat. Okay, Roger that. Jonathan says, do you ever think that AI or algos will take over what we are trying to do? It's a good question. I mean, I think they're definitely programmed, Jonathan, and even humans understand that there are certain levels people will buy at and what they won't. I've heard different opinions from different traders. Sometimes they think they can have the algorithms work for them. It's hard to say. I think the best answer I can give you is you can still beat the market with algorithms or AI, if that's what you're asking, as long as you have as long as you have a good context, you set up a good context trade where, you know, there's asymmetrical risk where you're risking more than you are winning. Now, if you're asking whether or not algorithms and AI could trade these strategies that I trade right now, sure, of course they could. They do. People write scripts and they write algos and it trades for them. They can just sit back and watch the prices right while it's all happening. So, you know, if you're technically inclined and are able to do that, it's certainly done. It happens all the time. There are many firms that no traders trade. It's just the computer programs do everything. Gary says, out of MA and Stitch Fix yesterday. Okay, I thought you would get out of Stitch Fix yesterday. I didn't think you'd hold on to that, Gary. Glad to hear that. And MasterCard. Oh, okay. Congratulations to Kamal for being totally flat today. Penny saved is a penny earned, right? Okay. Tracy is out of Stitch Fix. Out of SIVB. Out of CNK. Yeah, that one was no bueno. And out of Beyond Meat. Well, I'm glad you're following your rules there. Let's see. Oh, Tracy. Oh, there we go. I'm glad you sold half yesterday. Kamal says, Qs dumped at the close. Did they? Let's look at the 1 minute. The last 10 minutes they did, but that last bar rallied a little bit. Frank said, oh yes, I did note that you took a half position, Frank. So that's good. That was a good move there. All right, so Etsy's off the board. Lily says, I'm out of Beyond Meat. But on the bright side, you sold half yesterday. You're out of Haas. Okay. And KMX. Wow, the board is disappearing. All right, Lily, I got those. Ryan says Netflix hammered after hours. Oh, is it earnings? Well, let's take a little look-see here. Let's take a look at Netflix after hours. Down 10%. Yep. So I guess the Qs are down, huh? I would imagine, maybe not. Yeah, they're down pretty good. What's Vixx doing? It's up 5 cents. Kamal said, Q's closing below previous day's low, staying in cash, no positions. Good. Good call. Good call, my friend. You know, yesterday was a little bit of the telltale sign. And if you remember, a bunch of us got out of a lot of half positions yesterday. Yesterday on the Qs, we had the first close below the previous day's low, and we lost the 5 EMA. You know, does that tell you something's changing? Obviously, if you're going up, 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 you can't go down until you at least close below the previous day's low. That's the first thing that has to happen. Or you have to lose a moving average. And both of those happened yesterday. So I think it's good that we got out of, you know, a few of us got out of a bunch of stuff yesterday, at least half of positions yesterday when that happened. And there was follow through today. Kamal says, ooh, Netflix. John Dakota says, good channel. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. If there's anything I can help you with, sir, you let me know and hope to see you come back. Paxton says, thanks, Greg. I have to run. Dang it. I wanted in on Nike. Tracy and I played it safe. LOL. Well, it's okay. You know, I mean, we did talk about Nike in our last lesson as well. You know, Steve took Nike today. I mean, totally makes sense. I just had in my mind what I wanted for Nike, right? And what I wanted for Nike was a rejection of the 200-day moving average, which happened. We don't quite have a double bottom with the bullish divergence. I would just feel more confident if we could wash out this previous low. If we could reject the 30 RSI intraday, and, you know, I mean, if we opened up down tomorrow under the 30, under this previous low, had a rally at the end of the day, came back up, closed above the 200-day moving average plus a V1, then we'd have an under 30, over 30, V1, rejection of the 200-day moving average, double bottom, bullish divergence, false breakout to the downside from the previous low. That would be delicious. That would be delicious if we could get that. Whether we will or not, I don't know. Frank says, I will be nice to a person or animal, but I refuse to be kind to the market. Well, speaking of that, Frank is referencing the little saying that I say every day at the end. If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction, by Martin Kornfeld. So yes, let's please go out and do one random act of kindness for another human being. That would be a wonderful thing. Let's go out and do another, let's also do a random act of kindness for an animal. The animal will appreciate it. I promise you they will. I've been around animals my whole life. Animals will appreciate it. Humans will appreciate it. So let's do it every day. Just one nice thing. Maybe one day somebody will do something nice for you, or maybe someone will do something nice for your animal, and you will appreciate that. Nowhere in here does it say you have to be kind to the market, though. So that's not part of the saying. So you do not have to be kind to the market, Frank, at all. Okay. So, Netflix down 9.4%. So the Qs, let's see what's happening. Yeah, down another $1.33. What's Apple doing through all of this nonsense? Oh, Apple got hammered today too. I mean, not hammered, but they were very strong yesterday with relative strength. They were green, but today it kind of gave up the ghost and went down. What did Amazon do today? Oh, Lord. Amazon's down 21 bucks after hours as well. I'm sure my little overnight SPY trade's not doing too well. Down 47 cents. And the Vixx, Yeah, 4 cents. Well, how's everybody feeling after today? Kind of a whooping, huh? But remember, these pullbacks will set up new possible good swing trades for us at lower levels, maybe in the value zone where we have better risk to reward ratios. You know, a lot of these stocks and indexes where they were up here, you know, I talk about the price getting up to the third ATR channel and 92% of prices failing there. But when you're up here, everything seems great. The news headlines are great. You think maybe that will be different this time, but usually, you know, you get up to these levels, that's it. Let's look at the cues. Again, you know, we got up near the 70 RSI level. We got up near the, you know, actually above the third ATR channel, but now we've lost it. You know, we went above 70, below 70. We've lost the 5-day on the cues. I'm just waiting on these indexes. Just want to wait patiently for a pullback into the value zone. Remember, we want to buy in value, sell above value. We do not want to buy above value and have our stop loss hit back at value. You got it opposite way around. Buy in value, sell above value. Or conversely, buy below value, sell in value. Makes sense? Buy below value, sell in value. Buy in value, sell above value. It's really as simple as that. Ava says, agreed, Greg. Welcome pullback for new, better setups. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. You know, trying to look at the glass half full. I had some great trades. I locked in profits on some great trades. I'm glad I don't have so many positions. It's less work for me to do at nighttime. You know, what did I have? 12, 13 positions. I manage multiple accounts. Can you imagine how many limit orders I have 3 limit orders per stock, per account? My goodness, it takes me like an hour every night to do it. So I'm looking at this and I'm a little giddy about it, actually. But I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 positions. AGQ silver, Budweiser, AGQ on the weekly, which is silver, Budweiser on the monthly, CVS on the daily, Goldman Sachs on the daily, but I sold half today, Light on the weekly, Merck on the weekly, SPY, overnight SPY trade, gold on the daily, and to round it out a little bit for a little bit of a hedge, we have Vixx, which, you know, thankfully was up 2.26% today, and you know, since yesterday's intraday V2 close, up over 4%. Lova has a question. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am ready for question. Don't see a question, Lova. Maybe you're typing it right now. Excuse me. Well, the board definitely shrank today, did it not? I still have quad in Expedia, but I have a feeling quad's out of this trade, but I'll leave it up just in case. Lova says, you 4 days down, bought the V1 April 2nd. Okay. April 12th, sorry. Okay, so higher low V1, rejection of the -1 ATR channel. Did it move 1.5 ATRs from entry? I don't know. No, it did not. It lost, I believe it lost. Okay, so if I was trading this, should I still be in fully? Should I still be fully in, correct? No, I would have exited half here. So you have this higher low V1, rejection of the -1 ATR channel while MACD was positive, which is good. I would have taken profits, maybe 2 profit targets the next day. The next day I would have not. Here I would have sold half the position, Leva, because we went over 50, under 50. Whenever I buy under 50 and it goes above 50, fine. But if it closes back below 50, I would have sold half. As a matter of fact, I guess that's why this line is here, because that's what somebody did. So higher low V1, rejection of the -1 ATR channel, moved up profit targets, probably no profit targets the next day. Here we went above 50 and below 50. See, if we go over here, Leva, see how we're at 49.52, but we were higher in the day. So that's where I would have taken off half the position. Now, as far as if I was in this trade, would I still be in the other half? I would, because halfway of the washout bar is here. And even though we tested it intraday, we closed back above it. So if I was in here, profit targets, maybe a profit target out of half here, we have a close below the previous day's low, but we did not move 1.5 ATRs from entry. So that does not come into an effect. So I would be in half the position. Lova says, got it. Thank you. It was the closing below 50 RSI. Yep, that's what we were missing there. Ooh, Netflix down 10.5% now. Wow. Let's look at Netflix and see if we can calibrate where this stock is where it would be right now. It's at 492.55. Oh Lord. 492, close enough. So if we were to take the little tool here and go down, no, excuse me, that would be tomorrow's bar. And we can see what kind of RSI reading we would have right at the moment. 34.52. So currently it is below the 200. It is below the -1 ATR channel. It's below the 250. Has not yet rejected the 30 RSI yet. I mean, would that be a potential place to enter? It might give you a good risk to reward ratio if it was close to the 30. My first instinct on this trade here would be to buy Netflix with a close over the 250. That would be a good level. We'll have to see where this opens tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow I'll just mark it right now because that is interesting to me. You know, if we're below the 250 now, if we could close back above the 250, yeah, I take a shot at that with a decent risk to reward ratio. All right, it is a beautiful, beautiful day here in Utah. And so I am going to go out and I am going to go for a nice hike. And I'm going to come back and we're going to work out. I've got some bills to pay, things to do. So one of those days where I'll just get some stuff done, hopefully. Hopefully. All right, well, listen, have a good rest of your day, everybody. Thank you for coming. It's nice to see you. Sorry it was a red day today, but that is part of trading. There will be more green days to come in the future. Just don't get frustrated. Don't try to force trades. Don't try to make money back. You all know better than that at this point, right? So go out, do something nice for somebody. Go out, try to do something nice for an animal. Drive safe. Have some fun. Go for a walk. and just generally be good to yourself and have a good day. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow's Wednesday, so if you have your garbages on Wednesday, do not forget to put your garbage out. You know how you hate it when you forget to put your garbage out and your garbage is full for a whole week, right? That's the way it is for me anyway. All right. Take care, everyone. Good seeing you. Thank you. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.